Não, não. Senta aqui, você senta aí.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Alright. Deixa eu caçar aqui. Vocês me falam. Pelo amor de Deus, eu tô aqui fofocando. Tô aqui zoando, gente. Já? Estamos live? Sim ou não? Não, sim?
Ainda não.
Graças a Deus. Oh, meu Deus do céu.
Calma, tá mexendo.
Ai, gente. Gente, boa noite, tudo bem? Estamos de volta nesse estúdio lindo, maravilhoso, com esses meninos, olha, esses homens tudo aqui no background aqui, fizeram essa coisa maravilhosa. Estou super amando as cores, tudo, olha, gente. Muito obrigado, guys, pelo hard work, you know. Alissonzinho, Alex, do Duquette. Não sei se o Roginho ajudou não, mas obrigada, tá, Roginho? Gente, a gente tá aqui hoje abrindo o nosso estúdio, né? Abrindo de novo as portas. Estamos aqui com o ex-prefeito de Danbury. So, Najib, hello, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, I'm pretty good.
We're so excited for who we have here tonight. Jim Esposito have been with us in the city of Danbury for how many years?
My total career with the city as an employee in the beginning was 18 years. So I had different positions throughout that time for the city and ended up being the mayor. So it's a big honor.
18 years is
18
a long
years.
time. Yes. Yeah, that's why we see Danbury the way it is.
Yes.
Everybody loves it.
It took a lot
All
of
the
work.
Brazilians likes to come to live in Denver.
Yes.
A lot of them, like, they try other whatever in Naugatuck, but in the end, they come
They
to
end
live
up here.
in Denver. Yes, that's really popular in Denver.
Or if they live out there, they always come here to work and, you know, family lives here, visiting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a great
I know that.
Brazilian population here in Danbury, hardworking, good people and a lot have businesses established here. And you all know what that's like to start a business anywhere, even at a place that you've never been before or may just have moved here. It's a big accomplishment.
It is.
We're very proud of those members of the Brazilian community that built a career here, built a business here, and it helps Danbury all the way around. You see all the businesses downtown in Danbury. You know, a lot left, and there were empty spaces, but a lot of newcomers to Danbury opened businesses and got it revived. So it's very good.
But we had a COVID too, right? So when COVID hits, a lot of people,
hard.
yeah. So we're very happy that we have Sharon with us on our table for
Hi,
the first
Sharon.
time.
Mariana is saying hi to you, so you know.
Oh, Mariana, our girl, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna give her a call. I know she's, she's very busy. She's still with the city. She does a great job for the city of Danbury and the unit that they travel around and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. She was a huge asset, as you know, to me as when I was mayor. And I'm just so proud of her because she stayed with it and she's doing very well. She's got a little,
Yeah, I heard that. I
her
was
young
so happy.
son.
Yeah, I
And,
was happy that
doing
we
good.
kept her.
Yeah.
It was good. So how you been, Tim?
I've been good. You know, it's a big difference in my life. Obviously, my wife's been very supportive of me. I have 2 children, as you know. My daughter Chloe and my son Chase, they both live out of town. And you know, it's been a big change, not working for the city and obviously not being the mayor, but it's one of those things where it was a hard day when I lost the election. It was so close, and you know, but after that, life goes on, and we've been doing stuff together, and we do a lot of walking now after work. You know, I have a job as a consultant for a local company that sells granite and countertops and stuff. I deal with a lot of commercial people, but it keeps me busy.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Danbury.
It's in Danbury, yeah. GNR Fabrications. It's on Mill Plain.
That's
Oh,
But
awesome.
a friend of mine offered me a job, you know, because officially I retired from the city because I had other jobs, you know.
Yeah, well, 18 years is a long
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah, so I was able to officially retire after the election, so that was a huge for us because we have our benefits and retirement little package, you know what? I'm way too young to sit down and not keep working, so it's gonna be good.
Good, yes. You're right.
Enjoying you guys, right? Enjoying each other. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And probably you miss the office.
Oh, definitely, I miss the office. You
Yeah.
know, that was, like I said earlier, it's one of the proudest days of my life when I was elected mayor of this city, because I was born right over here at Danbury Hospital. And I grew up here my whole life, you know. And as we talked about in the past, I'm sorry, but we talked about in the past, my family had a tradition of public service. So my father was a state representative, my grandfather ran for mayor way back in the 1950s, and so many of my cousins and family members were involved, as you saw on the council. Last year there were at least 4 of us on the council, you know, with myself as mayor and my cousins. So it's been a big, it's been different, but it's a big change. So we're staying active in a lot of different ways.
So do you think in the future come back to the politics or in the future?
Is there any
Future.
comeback?
Any
Well,
comeback?
as I said, my whole family's been dealing with public service our whole lives, and we always said it's in our blood, you know.
Yeah.
There's
It
certain
runs in the
things-
family,
Yeah.
literally.
So there's certain things that I see happening already at the local level, municipal level, that I think we could change if we got back in there. But it's something that we've been talking about and what our future will be. And it'll be a decision made by both of us and obviously those that we have to speak with in the political side of it,
Yes.
you know.
The Republican, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Republicans saying.
yeah. But, you know, it always comes down to, it's a big undertaking to run. As anybody that ever did it knows, you have to raise a lot of money, unfortunately. For me personally, I thought it was such a waste of money, that volume of money that you have to raise on both sides. And you much with it and better, but, you know, it's part of that whole system, but, and then to get the support from the party leaders and then the people out throughout the community, so. But we have always had good, strong support throughout the community,
Yeah, then I
citywide,
believe.
so.
I believe if you come back in the future, everybody will be there
Yeah.
to support you. Because 18 years knowing Danbury the way you know, I really
Yeah.
believe that you're the best fit.
Thank you. And, you know, and that was one of my positions I took during the campaign. It wasn't a personal attack to say that you don't have experience, because you didn't, my opponent. I had 35 years of experience, and I'm sure he knows today how hard it was to walk in there and start making decisions for this city and the people of this city.
Yes, and one thing, now he knows how hard it is because he came to the podcast with all respect, and he was saying about the taxes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep the taxes low. I'm gonna support you guys.
He
The
made a
taxes-
lot of promises.
A lot of promises.
that
One of the
just-
promises for the taxes, and see what? The taxes went up.
Absolutely.
So
So that was one of the biggest concerns I had. I mean, I heard him during the campaign saying, making promises like that I knew he couldn't, hold to, because you have to take a position in running the city, and you have to have good money management. I was blessed with a staff that was really good at, finance, and we were working hard day and night. They didn't know that, but we
you
worked.
explained this here. I
Mhm.
remember.
Tying money, and we're doing our best that we can to not put the taxes up when we have to do it, because you don't have choice to do it.
Right.
So I remember that you say now he's seeing that
That
how
he
it
can't
is.
keep up with it.
Right.
Literally, that he can't keep up with it. And I hope the community sees that too, you know?
Well, so
Yes.
do I, because I've never taken a position where you can go back in any past year where I said I would never raise taxes, because realistically, the city is run on taxes. That's where we get our revenue. It's like the only way revenue comes to the city. But to manage those taxes and make sure that you use them correctly,
spent
that's where
properly.
the key is, you know? So I think the proof is out there that when we were managing the city's money, things were going good. A lot of the stuff that we talked about during the campaign, we initiated. We bought the property for the new high school. We bought,
Yeah.
you know, we completed, you know, there was a big thing with the homeless shelter that it was left in limbo. And we completed that. We had to reestablish it in a different location. But you know, those are the things that I would never go out and say, I'm never going to do this and I'm never going to do that, because the day that you're in there and you have to do it, it's
How
know,
you gonna
You don't
do-
have a
yeah.
choice. You have
Exactly.
to. You just have to.
Yeah, you have
Follow
to do-
directions, right?
Yes. And yeah, he put out the sign saying, and 2 weeks before the election day, I remember that I was like, woke up and all the signs like Dim did this with the tax, Dim did with the tax, Dim. It's all over the town.
right.
Now he sees it right in his face.
And
It's hard.
unfortunately, I mean, fortunately, but the reality of that sign was that he claimed that Mayor Esposito lied and raised taxes.
Yeah.
But when you really look at the financial process, we lowered the tax rate, and I explained it when I was
How
here
you
last
did it,
time.
yes.
The number went up for certain people because the value of their property went way up. It's a reevaluation that's mandated by the state of Connecticut. So you know, to really put the blame on anybody, I would put it on, you know, our state senator and a few others that are up there for so many years and haven't brought the money back to this city. But the state mandate with the reval gave an impression that the taxes were going up, but it was just following the value of the home. So, you know, if the common guy and girl didn't realize it, they said, oh, Esposito raised my taxes. But really the financial indicator for taxes is the mill rate. And the mill rate
yeah.
is based on what you need to run your city. And that rate I lowered to one of the lowest ever in the city of Danbury to help those that the value rate went up. So it gets a little confusing, but
It's tricky,
you know,
it's tricky.
I promise you, I didn't raise the taxes that year. The year before, we had a minimal increase. I told people that
Yeah.
I'd keep them as
You
low as
didn't lie.
possible, but I never said I would never raise taxes because that's not realistic.
It's not realistic. It's just a promise, a
Most of the
fake
time.
promise.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So he convinced a lot of people that, you know, that he was going to do that, and you know
Yeah.
that happens a lot.
He
in
did
politics.
convince a lot of people.
Do you believe that the community is going to regret it?
Do I believe
Or
that our
are they
community-
already regretting? What do you
Well,
think?
my ears are ringing every day, I have to tell you, from the day after the last budget where they approved these increases.
These increases.
Many people called and were upset, and what is this, what's happening here, why is this happening, and, you know, I'm not gonna, he's the
That's why
mayor
you
Like,
now,
I
guys
and
can't
those-
do
looking
nothing,
for
and
it.
I'm
Right.
not in the office
Well,
anymore.
Yeah, they didn't
you
blame it
know?
on me. They were just so upset
Yeah.
that it was happening. And, you know, unfortunately, as I said, taxes are a part of life. You have to have that money to run the city. But again, it's about good money management and the experience that we had. And I'm proud of it. We managed it, in my opinion, a lot
Yeah.
better.
Now you can see how
believe
you
that too.
manage that money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Without like 18 years. And now he sees that it's not easy. It's easy to say, but it's hard to
Same thing
Put it
with
pro-
the education. As you know, you have children in the high
in
school.
high school.
And, you know, I was in the office for 2 years, as you know, and even before that, they would come in and demand that we fully fund education, demand that education, we fund the request of the Board of Ed, demand it. And you know, the pressure's on. Of course you want to do it
wanna
if you
help,
can.
yes.
So when I became mayor, the first year we did the best we could with what we had, and then last year, as many of you know, that we fully funded education. We got the request from the Board of Ed was for $150 million. We worked as hard as we could, night and day, and it's not just a saying. We had people at City Hall, our finance department, working hard to find the monies to be able to provide full-time, or fully fund that budget, and we did it.
That's
So
incredible.
that was one of the things that I made claim to, and I said that I'll do the best I possibly can to fully fund the request, because, you know, the teachers work so hard every day, and they're on the front
True.
line.
Yeah.
And when you're sending $150 million over, and we send it to the education side, we call it the city side, education side, but we send it to education, and they manage they have to manage that money to fulfill what their obligation to the student, right? So the teachers were always the ones at the bottom of the pile, not getting their just due and not getting the support they needed. So we were in the process of reevaluating how that money is being spent on that side. And we were, I had the, my intent was to do an audit on that side, which we did on the city side when I first got in, to see where every penny that money was going. And why is it not with the teacher? And those are directly affecting the student. And then administrative and on down, So a lot of money's being spent in salaries and stuff, and if you want quality people, you have to pay their salary. And I'm not against that, but the organization and the way the money was being spent, and I know that there were a few people over there that worked very hard, but it wasn't coming out the right way. Every year after year after year is asking for more millions of dollars. And again, and I'm going to say it again, that at the state level, our state senator and a few of the senior members up there have not brought home the money that we need here in the city of Danbury. Because by bringing that money back to Danbury, it takes the burden off all of us taxpayers in this city.
True.
And the mayor, obviously, because we're dealing with our local tax. But the state tax has to come back. The city of Danbury sends up more tax dollars to the state than at certain times than any other city or town in Connecticut. And that comes from sales tax and stuff throughout. So the mall was a big generator of sales tax. So we send our portion to the state. They do what they have to do, and then they designate it back to the towns and cities. And, my biggest problem is why aren't they fighting more for those funds that we need? And the city of Danbury was one of the only ones growing in the last couple of years, Danbury and Stanford, in population.
Yes.
So we weren't seeing a return on our monies, right? So that, and overall, for anybody that's in that office up there, it's a huge concern because we have to get our fair share from the state of Connecticut.
True. We need it. We need it back. How is the community going to, keep going? The economy is going to keep, going.
Right.
It's just impossible.
Yeah.
Well, it really sucks. And I did receive, actually, I received so I'm a mom too. You probably received it too from Parents Square, or I don't know, that like the money that, like for the one of the schools that they needed the money and they didn't have enough money for the school, something like that. I have to actually go back to yes, I had that, and I sent it over to like everyone. I'm like, see, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Remember
That's
about
for
this? Let me see if
kindergarten or
kindergarten. So they were planning, if they didn't have the money, they were going to cut off hours for kindergarten, and maybe like have school closures.
Right.
I wish I can find it. If I can find it, this is gonna be so cool.
And unfortunately, I heard too that they were talking about laying teachers off, which is the absolute last thing you need to do in this environment, especially in Danbury with the growth in population. And we have some of the largest populated schools.
So how are you gonna
3,000
do in
kids
the
in
high
the high
school?
school.
Yeah.
3,000 kids enrolled.
3,200.
Yeah, I've seen it.
200.
Well,
They'll be
If they lay the teachers off, how are the school? How are the kids? That doesn't make sense,
It
just
does not make sense because when
they don't care
during my
about the
campaign-
education.
Right.
They're telling right in your face, I don't care about the education.
Exactly.
I don't care about this. Let's move on to the next thing.
So what we did, as you know, the first thing I did was initiate the building and search for a second high school location. They were in the process of maybe building it up at the old Union Carbide building and, put the school in there, but it didn't seem to be the appropriate spot for me personally. But we got blessed with the location. The old Cardis building, as you know, is in the process right now of being renovated. We bought that building, we meaning myself and the administration and the city of Danbury and the taxpayers, because the taxpayers approved it. They know that we need the space. We got it approved for a middle school and a high school. We went through a special legislation for that from the state of Connecticut to allow us to do that. It came back. We got permission from the city council to allow us to do it. We used a pre-existing building that was absolutely, in my eyes, perfect for that location. middle school, high school, with the cafeteria in the middle. So the high school kids would not be mingling with the middle school kids. It's almost
So
like two
separate.
buildings, right?
Yeah.
So it was
Separate.
absolutely perfect. So we moved forward. We got 30 acres of land up there. We have enough space for additional add-ons if we need it. And it was just, it worked out good, but we had to get the money and make sure that, because year after year, we were seeing the population growth, and, it started to pack the kids into a location that was not suitable for their education and the teachers and everybody else.
Yeah.
So we made the investment with the blessing of the taxpayers, because we went out to a referendum, which is going out and saying we needed $208 million. Can we borrow that and buy and build a new school? And the taxpayers, yeah, we need it.
There you go.
So they were very supportive of that. So that was one of the proudest days for me in my administration, and the term I had for the 2 years was to be able to say that we got that high school up and running. The development of the school, and it's in process right now. I think their plan now is 2025. COVID had a little bit of delayed in certain, getting materials to do the job, but so it's moving forward.
Yeah, so it's funny we talk about the teachers. I have a question here from one of the teachers in the high school. My daughter, I forgot my glasses. Can you read this?
Yeah, of
Dean?
course.
My daughter gave me, she says, you have to ask him. Then my teacher asked you, and I said, okay.
All right, here you go. So for over 10 years, people have warned that Danbury would have a budget crisis. The question is, why hasn't anything been done about it, and what can we do to fix it? Is it fixable? Let's say like that.
Well,
Yeah.
it is fixable in the
Here's
big
the
picture if we got our fair share. And I hate to sound like a crybaby, but the reality is the state of
It's not
Connecticut has to
happening.
supply us with more money.
More money.
New Britain, the city of New Britain gets almost double of what we get. And I'm
Really?
talking millions of dollars more than the city of Danbury.
Why?
And that's a good question.
Yeah.
And they may have a better
We're like
state senator that's
overcrowded.
working
We're
harder to bring
overcrowded.
in
Our
money.
schools are crowded.
And state representatives
yeah.
that we have. And I know I sound a little negative, but we have some of those senior members that have been up there quite a while that should be bringing home more money to the city, no matter who's running City Hall. The reality is that money is well-deserved. We sent a lot up there. We deserve our fair share back. We have one of the most diversified communities in the state of Connecticut, and we're growing every day. So
Yeah.
my biggest concern to help repair that
Repair
type of
the-
scenario is get the fair share from the state of Connecticut, and then good money management like we do on the city side. Evaluate what you really need and determine how it's going to be best spent, and educating our students and giving them the best possible education, because our students get a good education. It's tough because it's so populated, and that takes precedence over everything.
Yes.
Oh, it's too crowded. But the reality is we have some top-notch students coming out of Danbury High
Yeah,
School in
yeah.
this system.
That is
I have
true.
a cousin, she went to Stanford in California.
Yeah.
She's from Danbury High. She
There's
went to Danbury High. She went to Stanford. It's just like Harvard.
Yeah,
It's-
and there's a lot of students out there that go to Harvard and Yale and some of
Yeah,
those Ivy League
yeah.
schools that are up there.
His
But-
daughters.
Yeah.
being-
What they can do to fight to get more money to the town?
Well, again, it's coming. This election's coming right now for the state representative and the state senator. Those are the people that we have to rely on to get us more money from the state. They have to go up there and do their job and lobby their colleagues up there to say New Britain's getting
State
millions of dollars
representative,
more than
yeah.
the city of Danbury, the seventh largest city in Connecticut, Danbury,
Yeah.
and we need more money. We
think
need
they got-
more support from the state. So we need them to rally and either get on the candidates that are running for state senator, the ones that are running for state representative, and find out what their position is on that,
On
and
that.
to ensure that they fight
They're
for us
doing their
every day
job.
to get their money
Because
back.
everybody thinks that only the mayor have to go to the state and question the money and do the money. That's why we have who we have.
Right.
Example, like we know, like for more example, Farley, like the
Yeah.
Brazilian, the one should be like fighting for
Fighting
us.
for us.
That's absolutely
Fighting for
right.
like, okay, the
You
buzz, what's going on in Danbury? No, we need this money. I'm gonna fight for this.
And we have to ensure that we encourage those that are running, no matter what
No
their
matter what the
is,
party is.
They have to remember they
Exactly.
represent the people of this city,
This community,
especially the ones
yes.
that are in office today. They can't go up and side with their team. They have to really fight for the money that
doesn't
we
matter,
need.
yeah.
Because it's well deserved, as I said before, we send most of it up there. One of the highest, I think it was a couple of years that we were the highest
Tax.
generator of revenue to the state of Connecticut.
Yeah.
So we
will.
deserve our fair share back.
Yeah.
You think
We will.
they now the representative? You think they fight for something is less important than this situation for the money come back to us to make sure we have all the support you need for the town?
In the big picture, I haven't followed a lot of the different bills and things that are happening, but obviously there's different issues that come up throughout the year, and some of them you think they're petty, like they're not really worth arguing about, but some of them are crucial. There's crucial things. There's bills up there now about zoning in the different cities and changing zoning and not giving us the ability to oversee what's going on in our own towns. And there are some really crucial bills that are brought up to the state legislature where they have to focus and really demand what they need. But I keep pushing back to education because that's the biggest key right now. And those that are in office right now need to step up, as I said, because I personally don't see it. I knew when I was mayor, we have a big concern. We got to write our budget. Like I had to come up with $150 million for our budget this last time. If, I would expect those that are in office, and they've been there for a while, some of them, the state senator has, and a few the other state representatives, I would have expected them to come up and say, Mayor, how can we help? What do we have to
What
do
can
as a
we
team
do?
to get that money back to the city? Didn't happen,
And I don't think that's going to happen.
And
right?
then monies that were promised back to the city to help fund the new school. We didn't see a lot of that.
I'm not even hearing anymore about this school.
Yeah.
Have you heard about anything that they're gonna do it or not? Because I haven't heard after you left the office. I haven't heard nothing. Before it was like all about the education. I was seeing like constant work on that. But now I don't even. The only thing that I see is patching the roads.
Yeah. That's old school politics. I remember my grandfather saying, "Do you want to make people happy? Patch the roads."
Patch a road. I'm not
'Cause
happy.
they see it.
I'm not happy.
They see it.
Under the bridge, Mayor, I'm tired of literally patching under that bridge near on Lake Avenue. Please don't patch that thing anymore. Please. It's just like a waste of time, money, and effort. Or do the road or just leave it alone. We can deal with the potholes,
I heard that myself, but a lot of that was state roads, A lot of these roads, like
That's-
right out
yeah,
here.
Main
are
Yes,
state
the main
roads.
street.
Many of our main roads throughout the city of Danbury are
state roads.
So what happens, it's like a catch-22, meaning that, all right, there's potholes there. Do I send my crew out with all the materials and the labor because it adds up thousands and thousands
It
of
is,
dollars just
yeah.
patching the road. And now I'm patching the state's roads, which they should be doing, right? And with our money, our taxpayers' money. So a lot of
what
them
I
were
see a lot.
scheduled to be. We had a big plan, as you know. It was initiated by Mayor Boughton, and it's for the downtown development of downtown. You see, they're doing a lot of work down there now.
Yes.
They're doing all the underground work with gas
Yes, on Main
pipes and
Street,
connections and sewer. A new sewer line will be developed, a bigger one to be able to hold capacity. But you have to get all that done before. You don't want to pave it and then tear it up and put the pipes in, right? So, and as you know, we had a whole plan for upgrading all the sidewalks will be replaced. The trees will be replaced. It'll be hard to see them cut a live tree, but those trees were never intended to be in that type of environment. So they'll put new trees that the roots grow straight down instead of straight out.
Oh,
So it won't be
yes.
pushing up the
Those
sidewalks as they
sidewalks.
do.
damaging it
yeah.
and wasting
Yeah.
more money. Not
Yeah.
wasting, but having to repair everything all over again.
And that's all been approved, and that was the guidelines of the state as well. But that's their road, but the sidewalks and everything. So they do their share on certain things, but it seems for some reason that we don't get that money for education that we deserve.
No, they prefer patching up the roads.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
You think here the parties is the same thing like in Brazil. Sometimes the parties, when you start the project, if you have the idea with the project, if you left the city hall,
Mhm.
the next one sometimes come in Brazil, they stop the project just because they don't want you get like a
Credit for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Credit
I
for-
understand.
yeah.
That's what happened with the
This
new
happened
high
here
school.
too.
I
Maybe.
think so.
That's what
I
happened with the
think
new
so.
high school and middle school. That's dim plans were put together, but now it's like they don't want to do the middle
You're
school.
absolutely right.
It's yeah.
A lot of times,
just put it
and
to
you
the
got to
side.
understand it
Yeah.
as a mayor. We initiated a lot of these programs that, this mayor is going to put his name on in the end.
Yeah.
And I read the paper. I don't all the time because it gets me upset. But we initiated a lot of grants. We had people working all the time to get grant money, which is almost like free money to the city. And it's not free in the big picture. Somebody who's paying their taxes and we get the money. But you have to apply for it, and you have to do a lot of paperwork. And I read just recently a few of the grants where we had approved already, but now they're getting the check, right? And they were all patting each other on the back. And I know I sound a little sour about it, but it's hard to see because I signed every one of
You
those
signed,
those
yeah.
grants,
Yes.
and the people in that city hall worked night and day again to make sure
Make
that
it
the city
happen.
of Danbury got their fair share on the grants as well. So to take credit for it, I understand it. That's a way of the business, But in the end, it should be something where I think the people realize who really initiated a lot of that stuff and where it really came from.
So talking about grants and stuff, are you still doing
Delivering
the
food
food for those families?
in the community.
Oh yeah,
I saw a
we haven't
video.
done it lately. I'll admit it, but
I saw
Sharon-
in the
yeah.
Tribuna,
Yeah,
the newspaper,
Tribuna, yeah.
Tribuna.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw
Yeah.
a video. You and Sharon
Yeah.
was in the doors
We try to
delivering
do
the
it
food.
as much as possible, but since we've been out of office, and as I said, our children live out of state, so we traveled a little bit for that. We went
Of course,
to
you're taking a
my son-
vacation
yeah.
now, enjoying. Yeah.
Our son's in Miami now, and our daughter's in Chattanooga in Tennessee. So
Wow.
we spent time with them, and we're going to do it again. Emanuela and her family do such a great job with
yes.
that. They put it all together. It's not an easy process, but it was really nice to be able to go out into the community and
I
deliver
saw
that
it.
food
Yeah,
and
it
the
was
smiles
beautiful.
on their faces. Yeah, it was great. They do a great job. So
That's awesome.
we'll definitely be doing more of that now that, especially now that it's warmer out.
Do you guys have any plans for summer now? How are your
Yeah.
plans for life now?
Yeah. Well, we have friends that have a place up in Cape Cod, and we'd like to go up there. But as I said, I'm way too young to not be working.
working.
I like
I
working.
know.
And I like being involved in the community. I have friends that are running. Michelle Coelho, as you probably
Michelle,
already
Yes,
know,
Michelle.
she's running for state senate, and we're going to put 100% effort into ensuring that she gets that job or that position. Because there's a person that steps up, and when she says she's going to do it, she does it. And that's the type of people we have to have. And we call it the minority party, being a Republican, and the Democrats are the majority up at the Capitol. So every one of our Republicans have to be twice as loud. And I know Michelle's one of them. So I'm very confident that if she
is.
gets that position and
Hopefully,
she's elected,
yes.
she'll do an outstanding job. We see her on the Board of Ed. She's on that as well. She speaks up. She doesn't just sit there and nod yes or
She's
no.
always-
She speaks up and asks questions, and they're all, pretty good questions. The people want to know, like the parents want to know.
Yeah.
So she's very good. But we'll be working a
Always,
lot on those
yeah.
campaigns,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
We
That's
will.
awesome. Parents are always concerned about the kids. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
about the kids. I don't know, but the mayor should be concerned about education. Yes.
Yeah.
Especially because around here, we're like the overpopulated high school. In Brookfield, they just have 800 kids.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
And in Ridgefield, I think they have only 600.
there were other
I've been checking
Yeah.
that.
There were actually schools throughout the state that they closed buildings, school buildings, because they didn't have the
Enough?
capacity, the people, the kids, and we were like begging for them,
We're
right?
like, please,
And,
you want some?
but there's the
We need
growth,
to-
right?
We need
And-
some help here.
Yeah, and then that's the way the system works. If the children are here, we have to educate them, and that we do a really good job. And I'll say it again, I'm very proud of our teachers in this city because they're put through a lot.
put through a lot, yeah.
They have to bear with those conditions just as much
They're
as the
good.
students
They're
do.
great.
And
I can tell from
so
the high school. Yeah.
we tried to make sure that by
Yeah.
purchasing this new building and getting it up and running as soon as possible, we'll solve that problem hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah,
Hope they
the kids
work.
from Denver, probably like I have my daughters too now, they both on the college.
Yeah.
Denver, they has a good education since my daughter started going to school. Every time she said to me, oh, Dad, is nice, everything is good, and all the time I never have a problem. And the both ones on the college now, and
Yeah.
we know how they work with education here. This is why a lot of people start moving to Denver. This is why now Denver, like when I get here back 24 years ago, and then you can go on the streets with your car around 4 or 5 o'clock. It's easy to
Yeah.
drive along, but now
No
it's
traffic,
No.
right? Yeah.
No.
See, that's
Don't leave
another
your
thing we
house
really have
after
to
3
focus
p.m.
on in the
Yes.
future.
Right,
You
yeah.
know,
Denver's
everybody's
growing.
got their
Yeah.
place to live, and a lot of these streets are good for parking. People have to park, right? But we have to really take an oversight of that to see how we can control it better, because
The park,
it needs to
yes.
be accessible for. The biggest concern I always had was
Snow.
emergency equipment, right?
Oh,
A
yeah.
fire truck is twice the width
Yeah.
of your car, and some of the streets you can't even.
You
You're
can't.
scared about driving down in your car, and they're
It's-
two-way street. So I think that was one of the pet peeves I had, and one of the issues that I was hoping to
fix.
face in this term. But nothing's to say that this administration won't hear me tonight and do it.
Yeah.
So they could.
Here's the tips, guys. Hold on. Hold on to the tips. You never, people like this, they want to see our community grow. That's what we want. So maybe the mayor will hear us, or the Senate Farley, right? Is it Farley? I don't even know who it is. It's so important for me.
He's a state representative. Yeah.
So maybe he will actually see this podcast and look forward to, checking out these plans that were ongoing plans that maybe it looks like it was paused. And unfortunately, well, we hope for that right now, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We hope for that, because patching roads are not the way.
I think the best thing is to work with the community to make sure everybody gets safe on the roads too, but checking the things is more important now to make sure the community is together, because I know the parties has the differences, the way they think,
Right.
but on the end, I think they both have to work with the community
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
make the people make safe, security, and that all students get a good place to go, get a good education, all things we need to grow up nicely.
Yeah, and then you get the well-educated student goes to any college really, and gets even continues their education. We want them to come back to Danbury. We want them to get involved. We want them to help build the city even
city.
better. But working together is the key. And sometimes people would say I was naive to that. That maybe I was too soft in saying that. That's not the political way. Well, I was never really political. I was Danburian. I want the city of Danbury to grow and work together and make sure we get the best possible results we can. And it means working together. So hopefully, I was telling my wife the other day, it's a lot more than politics. It's the people. It's
the
more the
people
people
matter.
than the politics.
yeah.
So
The way they think is.
I try to remind this new administration that you have to focus on the people first, not the politics of it.
Yeah.
It's
not
true.
about the
It's
parties.
true.
Yeah.
It's because at the end, everyone is one big family, and you don't want to see your family fail, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a very good thought right there. It's a very good thought. What else do we have for you, Mayor? See, I can't take the mayor out. It's the mayor.
Well, it's what an older gentleman told me once. he called me mayor, and I go, "Oh, not anymore." And he goes, "Hey, once a mayor, always a mayor."
Always a mayor,
Always a
right?
mayor,
So
yeah.
it's pretty cool.
It's just, it's hard to
You
just,
worry
you know.
always will be.
Yeah.
So she is so shy, guys. She's so shy, but she is such a sweetheart.
She's sweetie. She's
Yes.
so sweet. She always
So
being by
I
his
wanted to
side.
ask you something about your lovely wife.
Mhm.
What is her major role? Like, how do you feel towards her? Is like her support was like she is an anchor too.
Definitely.
So how's that? How
well,
is that?
obviously, in this business, it's night and day, 24/7, especially when you're the mayor. You know, you're on call every minute of the day. And when I decided that I might want to run for mayor initially, we talked about it because it's a big responsibility for me, but it also puts pressure on our family life, right? And as I said, our kids are older now, so that part of the pressure was taken off. But we had, and I'll tell you the truth, back when I was a councilman, 25 years ago, she didn't like politics, right? She didn't want to get involved in it. She said, what are you doing? And then when I decided that we're going to continue to do politics and stay active in the community, she said, especially with this mayor's race, she stepped up 100%. And I was very proud of her because I know she had to change her mindset.
Strong.
But,
Yeah.
the worst part about it was when I started going to events like at the Amber Room, they all wanted to talk to her, not me. So she got very popular, but she was a huge asset to my campaign, both of them. And, it's just, 35 years. Our anniversary's next week.
Oh,
God.
nice.
33.
Really?
33 years.
It was easy when he wanted to run for mayor to support him.
Yeah.
Because he's for the people. It was just, that was easy.
Look, she looks
So
very
you
proud
know
of
it.
him.
Yeah.
You look very proud.
Very proud.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
that's I think a man. That's what they always say. Behind a big man, there's always
There's
a great woman
strong
too.
Woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were like an anchor. You supported him, and that's very important. That's how
That
we
was
see our.
easy. That was easy. I
That
have
was
to
easy.
say.
I wouldn't
Because
say
you
that.
know,
Especially when
Because you
comments
know
are made
he's-
about you personally, and that like
Well,
when you
there's
get up in the
always
morning and see a
something,
bunch
right?
of signs saying
Yeah.
Esposito
was a
lied, and
lie.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't lie. I mean, people look at me and go, yeah, right, but
Well,
it's not in
but
my
now the
makeup,
truth come up. Everybody see the truth.
Yeah.
The truth's right in our face. What is the lie? What do you lie about? Right?
Yeah.
What is the promise that we had like November?
Right.
Right?
Well,
So
It's funny
I'm a
because
house
that lie
owner
was a
and
lie.
I was just
That was it. That was
But
straight up in your face.
those are the hard days, when they make comments about you personally, or to try to give people the impression you're not a good person or you're not doing the
Yes.
right thing. And
But there's
I never did
always
that.
You know
I
it's
never
not
will.
true, but it's
Yeah,
like,
but there's always going to
Yeah.
be that type of people around.
Exactly.
That means that you're doing something right.
yeah. No, he can see it's not easy the way he thought. He thought would be like, no, I'm not gonna change this. That's the first thing he did.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know how he's doing there too. Now I'm like kind of curious because I haven't
No, we're
heard
gonna
nothing
ask
like
him.
unless I've been repeating all the time the roads being patched,
Yeah.
band-aids.
Yeah.
That's
that
all.
was another key issue. He kept
Yeah.
talking about we weren't transparent, we were hiding stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I always say, "What are you talking about?
What are you ta-
Everything
yeah,
is
things-
documented from the start to the finish."
To the finish.
But now you talk about transparency, you don't really see much of that coming
I
out
don't
of City
see
Hall
that.
right now, right?
Yeah, I have. Everything's been so quiet that I'm like guessing. I'm like, having second thoughts. I'm like,
Right.
oh, what's going on? Huh? I mean, I know who I voted for, but I mean, the community is like, how is the community not questioning that too?
I'm sure they are. I mean, that's what the feedback we're getting,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the people, it's not people that, like my cousin and my brother or something. It's
Yeah,
people
it's a people-
that have been living in this city for
City,
years.
Denver,
They're
yeah.
even not too long. They knew what they were told and they didn't get the results that they were promised. So That's the problem.
So
That's the
I have a comment here that someone makes this incredible banana bread.
Oh, my God.
Oh my
I was
God.
like,
That's
Really?
funny.
huh.
Next time you
I'll
come,
make
you have to
some.
bring us.
I promise, I will.
Can you
And I
guess
mean-
who was it?
That was Marianne.
Yeah.
She got it
Marianne.
so right. She's
That
like,
was
where's
her.
that banana bread? I'm like,
Yeah.
banana bread. I heard
I will
food.
make it for you.
Are we talking about food?
I will make it for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Very proud of that banana bread, and it is very good.
Oh, I have issues with food, you know. I really love food, you know. You know, that's awesome. And with chocolate chip.
Yeah, some of them.
Wow. Yummy, yummy, my tummy.
Okay. Oh, Mariana, please, can you stop now?
Yeah, right. She won't
Can
give
you
it
stop
up.
that? I'm like, she's not. We're gonna make a banana bread like right now, 9 p.m. She's not gonna do that. Why? Why? You know, make me suffer. I'm suffering.
Oh, God. That's funny.
It was so nice to have you guys with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Dean
guys.
Esposito.
Of course. I mean, I was
Do
honored
you
when you
have-
called and asked.
Thank you.
Would you
You
like
know-
to say anything for the Brazilian community?
Yeah, I mean,
You can-
it was
I mean,
always an
everyone.
honor to be able to serve the city of Danbury, as I said. One of the biggest honors of my life to be able to do that. And to be such a diverse city and so many good home, communities throughout the city of Danbury. I got to meet a lot of really good people, all different nationalities from all over the world. So for me, I grew up in Danbury. I was born in Danbury, but I'm so proud of Danbury now, especially when I was running it. No, but I'm so proud that we have a city that's a spotlight is on this city because we're growing and we continue to grow and we're going to try to do the best we can. And this political part is one thing, but as I said, in the
It's
end, you all
about the
have to work
people.
together to make it
Yeah.
the best place for your family and your friends and your neighbors to live, work, and raise your family. So for you to give me the opportunity to speak directly to people, there's nothing better than that. Because
It's a
you get
pleasure.
reporters
Yeah,
write
report-
stuff, they'll write the way they think they heard it. This way you get to respond or talk directly to the people and they know what the words are coming out of your mouth to their ears, what you're saying. So you would get held a little bit more responsible for what you say
Yeah.
and then providing
Sure.
what your
Provide what
results
you
are in the future.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you guys again. Thank you very much for
Sure.
giving us
Thank
Thank
you.
This
Thank you,
opportunity.
for
Sharon,
coming. Thank
as
you so much
well.
for
I'll
being
make you
here
that
with
banana
us.
bread.
And I hope to see us in 2026.
Oh,
Fingers crossed for that.
thank you.
hope
We'll see.
so.
We really hope that 2026, it's almost there.
Yeah.
It's almost. We just have
Uh-huh.
a couple years.
We'll see.
It's gonna
Right.
go fast, guys. Mas muito obrigada, gente, por estar aqui com a gente. Vamos fechar hoje com o nosso ex-prefeito, Dean Esposito. E a gente está muito feliz por ter trago uma pessoa tão especial na comunidade, que tomou conta da nossa cidade, né?
Nasceu
Por
aqui,
muitos
viveu
anos,
aqui.
viveu. Os filhos participaram da escola, né? Ele fez participação em todos os critérios da comunidade. Então, assim, a gente fica muito feliz de ter ele aqui de volta. E esperamos agora o prefeito atual vir e fazer uma entrevista com a gente também. Fica aí o convite já para o prefeito e o Farley também, para vir cá, para a gente ter um bate-papo legal. A gente promete que a gente vai ser bacana. Então tá bom, gente. Muito obrigada e até a próxima. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Sharon. It was very proud and happy to have you guys here. And I hope to see you guys soon.
Quer falar alguma coisa?
Thank you.
You want to say something,
Eu
Cajinho?
quero agradecer a presença do Jim Esposito aqui.
Fala
que
inglês,
tá
né?
sempre
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We're
The
getting a little
bilingual.
better, not much, though.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here again. You always be
Welcome.
nice with us. You come one time, the second time, all the time when they contact you, you are so
He's always free.
always free.
Yeah,
Always
especially
making
lately.
Yeah,
time.
always making that effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with the political, but when I heard you talk about the political, we start understand what happened on the town, because I never know, and they have some roads here is from the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
A lot of the
because
Main Street.
and the most part of the people, especially Brazilian ones, they think the mayor is responsible for everything.
Everything.
Because sometimes when I get here, the people said, the police, all this stuff, is come from the mayor. He is responsible for everything. And I never know. We have state roads, things like that. And like you said, we send a lot of money to them, and they return less to us.
Yeah.
And sometimes they send some money for some town, don't send to him the same amount of money.
Right.
And the people has to know that, because sometimes they question why they don't do this, why they don't do this. They have to know what happened. And the other thing is we have to now start to check who will represent us up there.
Exactly.
Because this is more important sometimes than the mayor has on the town.
Right.
Yeah.
It's getting that responsibility to get the message back to the state, so we need the money.
Yeah,
You're
thank
absolutely right.
you for your presence.
You
and
got it.
you and your wife. And
Yeah,
it's our
we're
pleasure.
so
Thank
thank you so much for your time. I know it's not easy, like you guys busy. Thank you.
I love that banner. It's beautiful.
Nice, nice, yeah.
Look at my
really
button.
is.
Look at my button sparkling. I love that.
It
The
looked great.
sparkle come back.
That's awesome.
It's
Thank
really
you.
good.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
let's-
Ready.
Thank you,
Why you
thank
don't
you.
put her picture too? This is your fault.
Oh, over here, yeah, no. Should be all upset about that.
Next time,
This is
Shell.
perfect. This is perfect.
If her picture would be there, she's already like all shy. She's gonna be
Yeah.
all red. All right, guys,
All
and
right.
I'll see you guys soon. Have a good
Bye-bye.
night. Ciao.